Let's see. Okay. So every time I do something for the first time, I find myself. All right, here we go. Hello, everyone. Thank you so much for joining me today for this book discussion. And I am a little tardy, and that is part of my personality. If I can be late, I will be late. Okay, but we're here today to talk about something that is I think it's so exciting because all of the support that you all have shown during the promotion for the ebook, over 232 downloads of the book happened. I'm still waiting on reviews. I know it takes people time to get a new book and get around to it. And some people have just gone through it completely. And I'm learning some things. I've helped other people with their books, but some of the things I'm learning I could not have learned unless I was going through it myself. So I learned that everyone does not shop on Amazon, contrary to what I think. Everyone does not. So I have been able to get the book on Amazon, Barnes and Noble, and on Apple. So there's some other sites. They're not as popular, so I only wanted to mention the ones that people are familiar with because the other ones are in other countries as well. Um, so right now, because I speak English, I'm not fluent in any other language. I'm only speaking to the United States and the market here. But I have made the book available in other markets. But what I have learned so far in the United States market is that everyone does not shop at Amazon. So I have found a way to make it possible that the ebook is available on other sites. So if you're downloading your books on your Apple devices, you can find Moments the Weekend there. Hey CJ, hey honey, how are you? Um, Thank you, and I do appreciate your support. My husband is on here supporting me, and I am very excited to have his support because it's a big deal when you're doing a project that is only created in your mind. Other people can't really get their mind into it or really stay around for the entire story, and he did, and he helped a lot. So I'm excited about him being here, supporting me all the way through even the book discussion because he's had lots of book discussions in rough draft before we got to the final copy. The copies you see behind me are the signed copies of those who participated in the pre-order. So the books will be going out this week, and that's exciting. It took forever for them to come. What I learned as a rookie, that the author's books take a long time to come, anywhere between 10 to 14 days. Now, if someone did not want a signed copy and they wanted to go right on Amazon to purchase it, they can get it in a couple of days. I don't know why that is, because the same goal is being met, the authors getting their books out there. However, the books are finally here. I have them signed and ready to mail out. Even though there are some people I can meet in person, I think you're going to enjoy the packaging. So, with that being said, if you still want to get an autographed copy and you want the special packaging, I definitely will leave the link in the comments so that you can order your copy. But if you don't necessarily need an autographed copy of this first edition, you can go on Amazon or Barnes and Noble or Apple. And I'm sorry, a lot of people have had trouble with Amazon, and so I have a solution. Like I said, the book is not just on Amazon; it's on Barnes and Noble as well as Apple. It's just the ebook copy for right now. So if you want the physical copy, you can order it through me. Or, hey, sweetie, there's my daughter, and hey, Dana. Hey, everybody, thank y'all so much. So oh, I'm going to get emotional. I have friends. But anyway, y'all have been my friends. Over 15 years, you have watched me encounter one dream after the other. And you have been here to support this dream and that dream. Whether you were a physical part of it or if you were on the sideline cheering me on. And when I told people I was writing this book, they didn't really know what to expect because I've done podcasting and business coaching and volunteer work and worked in the church. So what is the book going to be about? Okay, Katherine, you like to talk, you like to write, we'll see. So when I introduced Moments the Weekend, some people were like, oh my goodness, I did not know that you would write something like that. But then there were other people who knew I wanted to be an author before podcasting and radio and TV ever entered my mind. And they said, it's about time. Some people thought, hey, Melissa, that's what I'm talking about. She's one of the people that's like, when are you going to do it? When are you going to get this done? She was one of the people who helped me read the book before it went live. And she says, I could see this as a movie. Several people did, but since she's here, I definitely want to acknowledge a conversation she and I had. She said, I could see someone taking this on as a movie. She said, no, what I really can see is you doing it yourself. And I've been that person over the past 15 years, and this project is no different. So of course I'm going to yeah, you did. Yeah, you clutched your pearls, Dana. What I think I proved to myself was, one, I can get it done. I helped other people, encouraged other people to do their book, and I just saw so much more happening, and it wasn't happening, and I was getting upset. So it was, let me see how difficult this is. And I've tried writing books. I have books in the work, but this book took 5, maybe 6 months at the most, from the concept to it being available for sale. So the proof is, it's not difficult to write a book and get it published. It's difficult, thinking of the ins and outs, what little things you want to do. But to whoever is wanting to write a book, I don't care what the book is about. Don't worry about if it's a good book. My first book was not a great book. It was still supported, but I got it done. So get that first book done, and you can go back and revise it. These sites make it so easy for you to get a book published. So no longer leave that dream sitting on the shelf. I'm taking all of the dreams off the shelf. I have a box and a half of stories to be told. And what I'm learning is, one, that is so super easy to do it. What I thought even 7 years ago about getting my book in the Barnes and Noble store is easier now than it was even 7 years ago. So if you have a work that you want to publish, go ahead and get it out there, because you owe it to yourself and you owe it to the world. And once you get that book out there, do everything you can, and even stuff you don't even know you can. Market your book. Tell people about your book. Get on people's nerve about your book. Get people to help you read your book. Before I went live with this, I asked people to read a couple of paragraphs, a couple of chapters of my book, and it came back a bunch of times. I mean, things like grammatical errors, things like that, but for the most part, the grammatical errors weren't so bad that they could not get the concept, and they really thought the story had something. Continue, finish the story, they said. And some people said, is this all you sent? How dare you finish this story? And the ironic thing is, the book was done when I shared it. And I just wanted to, I needed some cheering on, and I needed some early supporters. And by having people beta read your material, you already have people who are invested. I started out with women. I started out with black women and white women. And then I shared it with men. And the men, oh my goodness. I thought the women had a reaction, but the fellas were really like, get it done. Finish this book. The guys would buy it just for this. And a diverse group of men. Hey, sissy. Oh, thank you all for showing up. Your book is on the shelf. I'm mailing them out this week. I'm amazed at what can be done with a book. I'm amazed at the conversation starters. I'm amazed at how people have limited themselves to just one book. Do it. Don't worry about it being perfect. I'd never worry about it being perfect. If you all know me, you know I showed up here late today. Not on purpose, but it happened. And I'm still here, and I'm still loving that you all have supported me up till now, and even saying I'm waiting for the next book. So the promise of a next book is definitely a spoiler in the book. I have the beginning of the next book, and actually more books down the road, because while I'm marketing, what I've discovered is I can get more bang for my buck if I have more book covers prepared in advance. I'm learning that I could market a book that's not even written even a year out. So, hey, everything I can do to prove I'm black, I get here when I can, you know. I'm definitely showing up Colored People time. But I had so much fun with this book, and sometimes I would start talking about the characters to my husband, And he'd say, what are you talking about? And I'm saying, Brenda, from the book. Michelle, from the book. Okay, Murphy, you know who Murphy is. And I'm talking about the characters like they're real, because out of all the interviews I've done, people say they get lost in the characters. They don't know what the characters are going to do next. And that sounds good until you're actually creating a story and you don't know what these characters are about to do. Like, Murphy was not necessarily going to be my favorite character. Anthony was going to be my favorite character. He's the best friend. He has all the top shelf priority. At least I thought. I mean, that's the way my world works. But in Brenda's world, in everybody's world, Murphy has found himself in everybody's space. How does this brother have so much time? So the twists and turns in this book, I wasn't even aware that they were going to happen. So I had to take the roller coaster ride. But this is also my first fiction book to put out for someone else. Most of the books I've helped people write have been memoirs, semi-autobiographical works. So even business books, something that was now an extension of their business, an extended version of their business card, a way to get to know them, a website in book form, if you will. But to sit down and let your mind go wild, I was nervous. What will the people say? What will they think of me? When I get interviewed and they ask me, how much of this book is like you? What will I say? So I got to start conjuring up the alternative facts, or do I want it to be really, tabloid worthy? I don't know, but there's marketing around the book. And while there is another book in the works, and while I could crank out another book really fast, this book is like one of my kids, and giving birth to another kid too soon could probably spoil it for the first one. I'm having so much fun with this one. I don't want to shorten the time I spend sharing this book, getting involved in this book, revising this one before jumping into the next one. But as I was writing this book, the other books were just happening. And it's like, okay, I can't put that in this one. It has to go in another one. Oh man, what has to happen for that to really take place? Writing in a scenario. So I'm going to give it to you. How did this book even come about? Like, what was the reason? Because Katherine, you were in podcasting and volunteerism and community radio and television before writing a steamy fiction novel. What prompted you to do this? Well, glad you asked. What prompted me to write this book was just seeing if I could do it. I was frustrated. I helped other people write books, and maybe it was because I wanted them to do it my way. Maybe it was a control issue, but they just were not doing it the way I wanted it. So I said, let me try it, because maybe I'm being judgmental. Maybe they're doing it the best way they know how. Maybe they don't really want to write books like I want to write books. Maybe they just want to do that 1 or 2 books, maybe. So, there's my water. So I did it myself, and the prompt was females and sexual liberty. And so I started with Brenda, and Brenda's backstory is that she's an independent woman. She makes her own money. She makes her own decisions. She's affluent, if you will. So, but she doesn't want to be too independent. She enjoys male companionship. She just doesn't want to settle down. She believes that, she could have sex and be free and be independent, and no one should judge her for that. However, the way the world is, people have an opinion about stuff that's none of their business. So a woman being sexually free may be finding herself in more than monogamous situations. Maybe she finds herself in situationships. Maybe she finds herself in friends with benefits. Maybe she finds herself as the side chick. Maybe she finds herself in a whole love quadra something, just not even a triangle, But if she finds herself in any sexual situation, she feels that she can be accountable for her actions, and she can be okay with the choices she's made. and she doesn't think anybody should judge her. So that's how Brenda became. So the power that sex brings is really more of what's in here. I hate I had to label it erotica because it kept it out of the public libraries, which still is one of my goals, to get the book in the public library. So maybe I'm going to do a radio edit version of the book, meaning we're going to take the explicit description out. But, there'll be two versions of the book out there. I don't know. My mind is definitely creative. I love my mind that way. So this book has so many possibilities. So I don't want to rush into the next book. But so many people who have read it so quickly that it's like they're going to have to suffer until the next one is produced. And I kind of want to rush it. Then I don't, because I know better. But this book is about family relationships. So there's three sisters. There's Michelle, Brenda, and Tasha. In that order, respectively, the oldest, middle child, and the youngest. Brenda seems to be the oldest child. She seems to be the dad's favorite. She's a daddy's girl. But she's very good at leveraging her relationships. She's not quite in the church. She's not quite out of the church. If people assume something good about her, she allows it. If someone assumes something bad about her, she's more apt to try to position herself to be in the brighter light. If she happens to fall into a situation that is not favorable, she has to look at what part she played, because our choices lead us up to things that even we didn't plan on, but they happen because we allowed that space within us to be open for something that could be a little bit messy. And Murphy, oh my gosh, really, if you have not read the book, go on my website, tntbsmedia.com, and you can read a sample of it. And from the sample, I think that you can find satisfaction in knowing that your purchase is going to be a good purchase. Now, this first book discussion is just me, you all. Hey, Urban Times over there, Carrie Dixby, thank you. All my people, listen, how I even got started with writing was Urban Times, writing for the magazine. And I thought at that time, for sure, I'm going to be an author. That is how I'm going to make it. And someone introduced podcasting to me. And at that time, we were calling it online radio. And today, I'm like, my voice is more raspy than usual. And this isn't the radio voice, I dreamed of. So, no, I don't want to do radio. I don't want to do TV. Look at my hair. I pressed my hair before I got started, and it frizzed back up. So, 45 minutes for what? So, no, I don't want to do TV, but I had fun with that, and still I have fun with it, and it taught me not to worry about being perfect and helping other people publish their books and just looking at the process they went through. So I'm on the job for 15 years learning about this moment, like that play on words, this moment right here. I'll never have another first for this book. It'll be a first for the second book, a first for the next edition, but releasing my creative mind in a way that's not logical or into business. It's just, this is what's been in that girl's head. What? Wow. Okay, this is what you spend your time thinking about. And sometimes, yeah, Other times I'm actually thinking about real life stuff, but I just wonder what would happen. I only have one biological sister, so my other sisters have come from life, and God has gifted me with sisters that I couldn't have had better sisters. Oh, thank you, honey. I couldn't have had better sisters born to me. I have Dana Sidbury. I have Melissa Boyd. I have Melissa Calvert. I have to remember that some of us got married, so I better not say our maiden names. That's a no-no. So my sisters from other misters have supported me just as if we were blood sisters. And we've never had any squabbles, so I didn't really have anything to pull from. But I figured, what would sisters do? What have I heard sisters do to each other? And so in this book, these three sisters get into some predicaments. and it's left on a cliffhanger on purpose. Because the other part of me, I still have logic while I'm creating. I tried to leave it out, but what could really happen in a weekend? And a lot of what happens in this weekend comes from some stuff that happened before the weekend and can't be solved in this weekend because it's real life. So while it is fiction, while it is made up and it's not about anybody I know, so if it is similar, it's definitely a coincidence this time. But these sisters get into taking advantage of each other, not really, like, they're reckless. And I'm thinking, wow, how do you come back from this? And I don't know if these sisters will. And the next book, the title is The Wedding. Whose wedding? So are these sisters going to come back together? What's going to happen at the wedding? Because in this book, there's so many possibilities on who could get married or not. And maybe would Brenda get married with her single life? And she's held on so tightly to being, a productive citizen and doing the right thing. And who knows? I don't know. I'm not sure. I can neither confirm or deny if this book is or is not about somebody or someone's that I have encountered. I don't know. And then for realistic fiction, I'm not sure if those two words go together either. Realistic fiction. Yes, I want it to be believable, but believable as fiction. Like, that could happen in a made-up world, but I don't know. Some of the stuff in this book, okay. My favorite character, of course, is Brenda. I started with Brenda. My second favorite is Murphy. And I'm going to tell you, Murphy, somebody did ask me who gets the most play in the book, and it's Murphy. I got to go and give it away. Murphy gets the most action. I do give some warnings in the book. I was told by my editor that I didn't put enough warnings in the book, so I'm going to apologize. I'm still looking at some rookie mistakes, maybe. But then maybe I'm like the guy off of Boomerang when he was doing the Strange commercial. Maybe what's, risque to someone else is normal to me. So I may have missed a few flames is all I'm saying. Okay? So just maybe my one flame could be somebody's 3 flame. I don't know. Because Brenda and the Bank, a lot of people really, they were fanning. They wanted more, but they weren't ready. And they said I didn't warn them. They said, you just jumped into it. And I was like, where? Where did I jump into it? That was the warm-up. But I'll wait to see if more people think that I may have missed a few flames. That's worth reading for editorial purposes. So maybe you don't normally read steamy novels, but you want to help a friend, you want to help an author, a new author, debut novel, and you just want to see if maybe my flame warnings, letting people know when to start and stop with the hot stuff, maybe I didn't do a good job. I could take a few extra eyeballs on the case. Okay? So, let's see. So if you have not downloaded the book, if you have not gone to tntbsmedia.com, if you say, Katherine, I'm just supporting you because you're Katherine, I'm going to read the back cover of the book to you. And I'm also going to read a little bit of the next book to come. Because short of me just telling you, I don't want to kill it, but I believe in Dave Chappelle form that I could tell you the entire book. And because you see me, you've known me over the years, and you're still going to have to read it for yourself. I think I could tell you and you still would want to read it for yourself. Okay? But in this moment, play on words, moment. Let's see in the comments how many people can, use moments in a response to something I have said or someone else in the comments has said. So a play on the words moments. And before I read the back of the book, Moments is going to be a series. So if you weren't aware, it's going to be more than 2 or 3 books. It's not going to be a trilogy. It's going to go on for quite some time. We're going to get to dig into the characters. This book is an introduction to about 9 people So yes, you're going to leave with questions. Yes, you're going to say, I really didn't get to know this character. You're going to get to know them in future books because they're going to be around for a little bit. So moments, if you can use the word moment or moments in a response in the comments, that would be really cool to see how many people can do that. So in the pages of Moments the Weekend, embark on an emotional journey with the Rogers sisters, Michelle, Brenda, and Tasha. United by a strong familial bond and forced by their mother, their close-knit relationship is about to face a weekend that will reshape their lives. Brenda, the brilliant and independent 20-something, finds herself at a crossroads as jealousy, deceit, and heartbreak unravel her seemingly perfect world. With her parents' warning echoes in her ears, Brenda must confront the consequences of her self-centered choices, leaving readers to wonder if she's too smart for her own good. Michelle, the elder sister, burdened by the shadows of comparison, crafts an underhanded scheme to teach Brenda the true essence of love. As her plot unfolds, Michelle takes down the three men Brenda's juggling, delivering a reality check about the limits of playing with others' feelings. Meanwhile, Tasha, the baby sister, grapples with societal expectations and familial disapproval of her committed but unconventional lifestyle with her high school sweetheart and their twins. The clash of choices between the sisters and their parents raises questions about the endurance of the ties and the pursuit of individual happiness. Moments the Weekend explores the intricacies of family dynamics, individual choices, and the profound impact of a single weekend on the lives of these three sisters. Will Brenda find herself alone in her single life? And what will be the aftermath as the bonds that once defined them begin to shatter? This novel promises to capture the essence of pivotal moments that shape our destinies. So, I'm excited about that. So, let's see what's in the comments. At this moment, the book moments can be characterized as realistic fiction. Okay? We are taking this moment to learn more about author Katherine Jones and the characters of Moments the Weekend. That's what's up. Thank y'all so much. So, for this moment, I think everything I've learned from the time I was on the He Said, She Said platform, and I was frustrated. I want to write, and I inbox Urban Times, and I said, do you know anybody who's looking for a writer? I just want to write. I didn't even have a pay scale. I just want to write. And he gave me the opportunity to be brave. Not perfect, but brave. And I skipped over writing and got to speaking, doing interviews, hosting networking events with Dana. I met my cousin Bernadette there. Oh my gosh, I can't even believe I'm about to cry. I thought I was going to be offline and I could cry in peace. But even signing the books for you all who did the pre-order, it was emotional. I'm sitting there by myself signing and crying because I have a special note for each person. Each person that purchased the book early, there's a story. There's a personal connection. Oh my goodness, you know? And then to open the box, I will repost the video in this event later on that we did when I opened the box. And it looked like it was prepared because somebody had a glass of, wasn't a glass of wine, it was a wine glass of something to drink. But it looked festive. And it looked planned, but it wasn't. It was very spontaneous in that moment. Oh man, it was priceless. I've watched people. Oh boy. I didn't know enough to get tissue. Oh boy. I've watched people open their boxes of books. I've watched people do their book signings. I've celebrated people. And in this moment, it's my moment. And I'm excited. I feel worthy of this space. I feel it's time, you know? Oh gosh. I have no tissue. You know what? And it's raining outside, so I'm glad this was an online event because My hair would have looked worse. And people may have not been able to travel safely or may have not just come out because rainy days make me want to stay in anyway with a good book. Ha. So you might have been at home reading my book instead of at home talking to me online. Oh man, we can all relate to some of the moments in time. Oh, thanks. And I said my sisters, but my brothers too. So Carrie, uh, we go back to when I'm trying to hang around you older kids. When we were, well, they were older. I was the peon. I'm trying to hang around the older guys, and I can't hang around the older guys because I'm a little girl. So man, so to my brothers, to you guys and gals who were not born of the same blood, but my goodness, the support, the girl when you gonna get up off your butt and do it, the where you been, calling me to accountability, man. Wow, thank you all. So I had to. Let's see. I don't have any tissue nearby. This is terrible. All right. All right. So this is real. I'm going to do my best to try to see so I can read some of the beginning of the next book because this first book is just the beginning. It is the pilot. If it was a TV show, this is the pilot show to see if you guys like my writing, to see if you like my style, because if I have supporters, you're going to tell someone if you like it. And I know that the first book, because you love a person, you buy that book. But I want people, and I have had people, and I do appreciate that. One of my aunts told me, hey, this book is not for me. I see that you are a good writer, but this is not my kind of book. I need that kind of feedback because that gets me closer to who is for me, because she says, your cousin liked these books. So she was able to refer me to someone else. So while this isn't for her, she knows who it is for. So these things, helping to spread the word about my books, to connect me with other people. I've interviewed so many different genres. I've kept my mind open because everyone has a different method. Many of the stories sound alike, with why a person is writing and how they got started and what's their process. This book for me was not written in a quiet room. This book was written with people talking to me like I wasn't writing, people telling me stuff, someone playing something in the background, whether it's music or TV. This book, in my opinion, considering the circumstances of being a mom, being a wife, having anything I want to be interested in outside of just writing this book. I didn't have a writing cave. I didn't have a hotel room that I can go and lock myself in. I didn't have that. I didn't have peace and quiet. And then when I did get peace and quiet, honestly, I couldn't write. So just like in church, so if Pastor Goodson gets on here, because he wants his copy of this book too, and I'm going to sell it to him. He remembers that I would take lots of notes when he was talking. Maybe not when people weren't talking in church, but I wrote a lot when people were talking. So I'm inspired when there are things happening. So it must be my environment. So I think I'm going to need noise for the next book. So no apology needed. This book was written in the fashion that works for me. I tried to do it other people's way. Character development for me came as I developed the character. Like I'm writing, I'm talking to Brenda, I'm seeing how Brenda's going about her day. Oh, another favorite part of this book is this book is based in Charlotte. So everything that happens will come out of Charlotte. We may travel to other places. In this book, we travel to Atlanta, Georgia. We may even go to New York, but home base is Charlotte. And that's because I'm a Charlotte teen. I love Charlotte. Which way is my hair going? Okay, here we go. Look at that. So if you read the book, I want you to read the book and you see some places that are familiar. That is on purpose. So if anything, those places are mentioned because they are real, and I hope that you patronize them. And my focus is to name small businesses. So you will begin to hear other businesses that are Charlotte based, and you'll know the reason why. So, if anything, that'll be what's real in the book, but the characters, the names, those things will be changed to protect the innocent. We'll call it the innocent. I will be doing some in-person book signings. I will keep you all posted on that. I have an event coming up. I want to thank Carrie Digsby for tagging me in Brian P's um, post about female authors. That event is coming up in April, date to be announced. And I will be there. And my hope is to have books. Maybe not. Maybe I could tell you I just sold out because people are just buying them off me like hotcakes. But my intention is to be there with books and to share my knowledge with anybody who wants to write books. I don't necessarily want to help people write books because of how I feel about writing for myself. I did try helping other people like hands-on, but me being on the sideline giving guidance and being in the coaching position. You can tap in with me for accountability. You can tap in with me to get a resource. Maybe you forgot how to do something, but for me to work on someone else's book, I'm not going to do that. I want to do my own, and I'm very certain about that. So that is where I'm going to be. But as far as sharing my knowledge, giving talks, I'm absolutely open to that and want to share, because a lot of this stuff you can do yourself, and I'm about empowering people. If you can stand on your own, the lowest level you can fall down to is the last thing that you knew. So if you are empowered to fall down and land in a pile of money, why not? If I do all the work, I have all the knowledge. You may learn a little bit, but you're not going to know the full Monty of it. So I would rather teach you how to fish instead of just catching a fish for you one time. So the website, tntbsmedia.com, you can read some of the book, a good sample. They put, I think, about one chapter on there, so that's pretty good. I'm going to be looking for beta readers, for more beta readers for the next books. So if you're interested in that, message me on the Facebook page or through the website. Let me know to add you to the mailing list so you can be one of the early readers. And I do take the early reader's opinion into account, making changes where I need to make it more enjoyable for the reader. While I like sharing the story, I need to make sure the reader enjoys taking in the story. I want the reader to want to share it with their friends. I want them to want to read it again and again. I want these books to become a part of your library. You have to have the set, okay? I want to be one of your favorite authors. So, this book is Moments, the Weekend. The second book is going to be Moments, the Wedding. And while I am writing this book, I am frustrated because Weekends, the fallout has to happen. And I feel like Moments, the Weekend fallout has to happen in book 2, but it can't. So you actually, thank you for being on this discussion, because you now know what book 3 is going to be about. Because the weekend didn't end with this book, right? So we're going to look at the wedding, a little peek into it. And you really have some of my notes because this is a rough draft. I just want to whet your appetite and give you some of what is about to come next. So a peek into book 2, The Wedding. Let's see, where did we leave off? Oh yeah, the Rogers sisters were on the way to not speaking. Anthony and Rachel had a wedding to plan, but Terrence may be on the way to ruin their plans. Michelle is stirring a new brew of troubles. Michelle has new blackmail victims. Anthony's pride won't let him admit to Brenda that in a short time of being with Rachel, things were not as they seemed. How foolish to leave everything he knew to be with a woman who lied about saving herself for marriage. Michelle knows exactly what Anthony doesn't want Brenda to know. How does she tell Brenda what happened while keeping her hands clean? Brenda and Terrence needed to talk about the future, but they have secrets to share. Tasha realizes she has been partying with her supervisor's husband. The scholarship she wanted may be gone. Because of Michelle and Tasha, Brenda may have to move out. Tasha and Murphy started fooling around before she told him about her boyfriend and children. She was Brenda's sister who lived out of town. There was no way they would run into each other outside of the townhome. And by any means necessary, Michelle had a plan to ruin Brenda's love life. Michelle loved her sister, but was tired of being second rate compared to her. She boasted about how Daddy and Mama were leaving the property and the bank accounts to her. Michelle accuses Brenda of being jealous of her, so she compensates by being an overachiever. Brenda snapped back. Maybe it's because Daddy and Mama never stopped you from being their royal heir to the throne. It's really sick that you're waiting on your parents to die for you to come up. Tasha, I thought you and Brandon had a good thing going, yet you're over here with Murphy. I told y'all, Murphy. Gotta watch Murphy. How do you know his name? Because I had an entanglement with him, and I just didn't know my sisters were involved with him as well. On top of that, he has a wife. Tasha was casual and unapologetic. Yeah, his wife was cool. She came through here with him sometimes. No, the woman he brought here was not his wife. I don't know who this is in these pictures, but the woman who came here with Murphy. But this is the woman. Okay, get my eyeballs together. No, the woman he brought here was not his wife. I don't know this woman in these pictures, but the woman who came here with Murphy is not his wife. Tasha couldn't believe it. She wanted to see the photos. We hung out with them. She liked to be called Mrs. Murphy. It was weird, but we were all here to play. Wait, play what? Why didn't you and Brandon entertain at your place? This was getting worse. She may have a sex ring running in her home and not know it. What else was happening that she did not know about? Was their activity going to cause her to have to move out of her community? Brenda, listen to what you are saying. We have the twins, and we didn't want just any kind of energy around them. Tasha's attitude was not helping Brenda see a way to keep the sisters together. I can't believe either of you. You are saying my home is all right for that kind of energy? Yeah, that's what you do here. Brenda's boom boom room. It's my home. I can live how I want to. Girl, I know you're not tripping over a spare man. Michelle interjected. I thought you liked sharing. Are you serious? Are y'all serious? Tasha shrugged. Yeah, what's the big deal? Michelle smirked. Okay, smartasses. The big deal is that Murphy and his wife have threatened to report us for sex working in a residential community. So, just some notes from the next book. I have enjoyed sharing. I have been emotional. I am ready to mail these books out. I got to get to the post office. I have to order more books. And I'm busy. I have a lot to do. And this is just book number 1. Thank y'all. Thank y'all so much. I'm looking for more readers for future books. I'm looking for reviews for this current book. The reviews help let other people know that they should at least give my book a try. So if you did get the opportunity to download the free ebook during the promotion, please go out to Amazon or Goodreads and do a review on the book. I know Amazon owns Goodreads, so if you're having trouble with your Amazon account, then Barnes & Noble's, I put an S on it, didn't I? Barnes & Noble has the ebook, and it's on sale right now for $2.99. It's going to be on sale for a little while. So go ahead and download a copy, and maybe you can leave a review on that site for me. You are always welcome to go on This Needs to Be Said on Facebook, on our business page, and leave your comments there. Some people have inboxed me their reviews. while I enjoy hearing the reviews, reading the reviews, I can use them in future books, but they help on the sites where I'm selling the books for other people to find me that don't know me. So for all of my loved ones, I know sometimes leaving a review is a pain in the butt, but I need it. I need you to continue supporting me. And if you say, listen, I want to make sure I really read the book, go read the book. And I do realize this is my first book. And if there is things, there will be things that even as I look back at it, I want to change them or edit. It's going to always be that way. Is the book ever done? It's never done. Is the story ever finished? It's never finished. So there's always going to be more to write, always going to be more to talk about, and to also get your mind set. I'm not just going to be writing romantic novels. I have a sci-fi book in the works, and my family has enjoyed helping me hammer that one out, which actually that book has taken years and not months like this one. I think this romance novel came out because a bunch of years ago, maybe 20 years ago, I was very interested in writing that specific kind of book, and getting it done back then was more expensive, and there were not many people that I knew that were buying books from people selling books out of the trunk of their car. So it took me some confidence building. It took me some networking to get to this point of feeling like it is the moment to really step out there. So you can see some sci-fi coming from me soon. And my goal is to have another one out by this December. So that gives 12 months in between the Moments series. That does not speak to the sci-fi series. So that's what I'm going to be doing with my time. And because you can't really see it real good, I have merch. So on the website, you'll see all of that. You'll see the mug, the glass. So if you don't want a black mug, you can get a white mug. I have an ornament you can plan for, or it's a medallion, but it's an ornament or medallion for this series, and there'll be more merchandise to come. I have a glass, regular glass. I think that's it. I haven't put the t-shirts out yet. So just stay connected. There'll be more merchandise coming. And yes, I am going to get back into interviewing, because one of the best ways to market myself is to market others. It worked when I was podcasting. It worked when I was helping with the magazine. It worked in television. Every time I need to do something for myself, if I do that thing for another person, it always helps me to show up in a bigger way. So I've learned a lot about marketing. Still so much more to learn, but I've learned a lot about marketing. I thank Carrie, I thank Dana for definitely being teachers in what marketing looks like, and be attentive to how marketing evolves, because we've seen podcasting go from online radio all the way to what is now known as podcasting. And podcasting was just audio at one point. Now it's video and on location and a whole TV series, web series, and everything. So I want to thank Alex Cardinelli for doing my first book interview. I want to thank Brian Parker and Lori Parker of Empower Media for doing my second interview. I thank Carrie Digsby and the Roundtable team for scheduling my third interview, and I wasn't able to make it, but they're working on getting me back in. So hopefully February there's an interview coming up, and I'll be letting you know about that. And sitting down with some old friends and talking about, what's happening now. And I love it when I pop up on them and they say, what's on your mind now? What is it that you're sharing now? And definitely, iron sharpens iron. I think of a lot of hard conversations that Dana has said with me. And I'm thinking it's going to be long, drawn out. I'm emotional. And I'm saying, Dana, if this person would just allow this and do this, I can get it done. She said, well, if you can get it done, get it done. What else are we talking about? Get it done. Because if you can do it, do it. If you can't, that's a different conversation. But having tough conversations back and forth, not just them to me, me to them, making us better. I did not know we would be here 15 years later. I did not know we'd be evolving. I did not know. I planned to be here, but doing what I didn't know. And gosh, Man, this is exciting. And I'm looking forward to being in the independent bookstores. I'm looking forward to having works that will be in the public libraries. I want my work available to people everywhere. I want you to be able to go into the library and pick it up. I want you to be able to download it during a promotion. I want you to pay top dollar if you want to. I want to sign a copy of the book. I want to be one of the favorite authors on your bookshelf. That is my ambition. Everything else I did, I tried. I was able to do it. I enjoyed it, but writing is my baby. And I've excelled at so many other things. I know that I can knock it out of the park. Even if I miss, it's still good. So, thank you all for the early support. Thank you. Thank you so much for showing me how to build it as I go. Create that parachute as I'm falling out of the plane to make sure that I am showing up no matter what is going on in the backdrop of my life, making sure I'm showing up for people as I promised. That makes a brand strong. I got that from my teacher, Dana Sidbury. I'm finna go cry. This has been a beautiful moment. I thank each and every one of you 1,000 times. And you know, if you have something, let me know. And I'm all about supporting it any way that I can. I take my bow. Thank you. I love you. Now for me to figure out how to turn the live off. You all are wonderful. Thank you. Until the next thing, have a super day.